Jury selection has begun in the Hunter Biden gun case. So let's go ahead and talk about what is going on and who has made the jury and who has not. Hey, how you doing, Wolverines? This is John Crump, who happens to be an investigative journalist that investigates stuff, and I also report on the new stuff that I don't really investigate, but I do a lot of investigations. This is John Crump News, where we talk about 2A a few times a week at least, sometimes every day, depending on the workload of the stories. If you can do me a big favor, like, comment, and subscribe, and after you do that, head over to fattack.com and buy some of my merch. I would definitely appreciate it. Today, we're going to be talking about Mr. Hunter Biden, the crackhead himself, who happens to have a penchant for firearms, even though his dad is very, very anti-gun. So let's go ahead and talk about jury selection in his case. The case deals with Hunter Biden buying a Colt Cobra firearm while being a user of illegal drugs. His dead brother's wife, who he happened to be banging, threw the gun away behind a store, and then it was recovered. It's a long story and really weird, but the Biden family is weird. Just look at the Ashley Biden diary. But nevertheless, he was charged with lying on a 4473, and now jury selection has begun in the case. And there's been several people that have been disqualified from being on the jury because of their views on guns. One woman that was dismissed was a woman who believed that all guns should be banned because they kill children. The Democrats have been pushing that narrative for a while, so it is no surprise that she believes that. And I know that she's a Democrat because she was a member of several resistance groups to Donald Trump, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. There was another guy on the other side who was a staunch Second Amendment supporter, and he's described as being a white guy with a big beard. Not really sure why they use those terms to describe him, but they did. And he was dismissed because he couldn't convict anyone of a gun crime because he didn't believe that there is a such thing as a gun crime, which is probably a good thing. There was a woman who also actually made it past this stage in jury selection, and she uses weed and believes that people that use weed should be allowed to own firearms, and she said that she could put her personal beliefs aside and judge the case fairly, so she made it past this preliminary stage of jury selection. There was another guy who believed in the Second Amendment but believed that alcoholics and drug users should not be allowed to use guns or have guns, and he made it past this stage as well because he said he could put aside his beliefs. Right now, there's been around 250 people that are being interviewed or have been interviewed to be potential jurors, and they don't have all 12 yet, plus the alternatives that might come in the next 2 days or 3 days. So we'll have to see, but this trial is getting heated, and it looks like we should have a jury sometime this week. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There was this one retired police officer who took the stand and started going off about how Trump is being politically prosecuted and how the trial in New York was all political. And it was definitely an interesting scene. And he was not picked to continue for the jury. So even though he didn't really even talk about anything with his case, they dismissed him from the jury pool, which is probably what he wanted in the first place. So if you ever get called on jury duty and you don't want to serve, go ahead and start talking about how Trump is a political prisoner and stuff, and they will probably dismiss you from the case, which is a good thing to know. I've always wanted to be on a jury, but never had the chance to be. They always dismiss me from the jury pool. Not really sure why, but I'd never make it that far. All right, guys. So this is definitely interesting, and Hunter Biden is looking at a lot of time if he is convicted. But I have a feeling that even if he is convicted, that he won't do a day in jail at all because of who his father is. There is definitely a two-tiered system in our country when it comes to the legal system, and the rich and powerful usually get away with more than what you and I can do, which isn't exactly the way that the system should work, but it is the way that the system does work. Although I do hope he gets off, because I don't believe the 4473 is constitutional, and if it's not constitutional, how can you be prosecuted for lying on something that isn't legal? But that's just my opinion, and it might not be a popular opinion. I know a lot of people want to see Hunter Biden burn, and so do I, but for different reasons on different charges. Most likely from selling our country to China and Ukraine and all these other countries, and selling the influence to his employers because of who his dad is. I think that is a lot more of a serious crime than lying on a piece of paper and committing no crime when you lied on that piece of paper, because I believe that piece of paper is unconstitutional. All right, guys, this should be an exciting week. I am expecting maybe the cargo case decision to come out this week, maybe not, but there's a chance. There might be also a ruling on whether the Supreme Court grants a writ of cert to the Illinois assault weapons ban. Hopefully we'll get that this week. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week. So there's going to be a lot of news this week. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I'm waiting with bated breath, and you should be too. All right, guys, that is it. I want to say thank you for watching the channel. Be sure to check out battack.com. That's where all my gear is. And with that, stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keeping the fight. Have a good day. Bye.